skeleton clock. Could you ever part with it?
I doubt it.
$500,000?
It's sold.
Love that. There was Jack speaking to some people queuing up for the Antiques Roadshow.
I know it's a bad idea, but how can I help myself? Been inside for most this year, and I thought a few drinks they might help. It's been a while, my dear, dealing with the cards life dealt. I'm still holding back these tears. All my friends are somewhere else. I pictured this year a little bit different when it hit February. I step in the bar, it hit me so hard. Or how can it be this heavy? Every song reminds me you're gone, and I feel the lump form in my throat. 'Cause I'm here alone, just dancing with my eyes closed. 'Cause everywhere I look, I still see you. And time is moving so slow, and I don't know what else that I can do. So I'll keep dancing with my close. So I'll keep dancing with my delusion is here again, and I think you'll come home soon. But what brings me right back in? Then it's only me that's in this room. I guess I could just pretend the colors are more than blue, but I lost more than my friend. I can't help but missing you. I pictured this month a little bit different. No one is ever ready, and when it unfolds, you get in a hole. Or how can it be this heavy? Everything changes, nothing's the same, except the truth is now you're gone. Life just goes on. So I'm dancing with my eyes closed. 'Cause everywhere I look, I still see you. And time is moving so slow, and I don't know what else that I can do. So I'll keep dancing with my close. So I'll keep dancing with my oh, I keep dancing with my. They're shutting the bar, they're cleaning the floor, and everyone is already home. But I'm on my own, still dancing with my eyes closed. 'Cause everywhere I look, I still see you. Time is moving so slow, I don't know what else that I can do. So I'll keep dancing with my eyes closed. Oh, I keep dancing with my eyes closed. Oh, I keep dancing with my.
Ed Shearan and Eyes Closed. It's 4:45. News on the way for you at 5. If you've got anything you want to tell us about, particularly, we were doing this earlier on actually with Joe on our Showtime feature, which we always do on a Wednesday, which is just really about events that are going on in our local venues. But we also love to give a massive shout out to everybody that's organising something. Doesn't have to be theatrical. If you're organising something, we would love to give you a Showtime shout out. And the way to do it is the more notice the better. But you know, we're pretty flexible on this. If you've got something on, then just let us know by emailing joe.davis@bbc.co.uk, joe.davis@bbc.co.uk, and we'll make a bit of a fuss of you, as we did to loads of people today. All kinds of events. It's a pretty busy time of the year, I think it's fair to say. Although when we first started this feature, we thought maybe it would sort of go up and down in different seasons. It hasn't done anything like that. It's just got more and more busy as time goes by. And if you've got a bit of if you've got a flyer that goes along with it, we'd love to get that too, because we love to have a flyer. And Joe, I mean, I'm not kidding you here when I tell you that she does stick them in a downstairs loo. Got hundreds of them. Anyway, if you can help us out with that, we'd love that. ben.jackson@bbc.co.uk, ben.jackson@bbc.co.uk. It is 13 minutes to 5. Now, have you ever heard of a thing called snooze? Well, it's a kind of small pouch that's placed between the lip and the gum, and it's filled with tobacco. You can get legally available tobacco-free nicotine versions of it, but also banned tobacco versions which are illegal to sell in the UK. Well, we're talking about them today because a new report conducted by Loughborough University has essentially lifted, well, I suppose it's lifted the lid on how widely used snus is amongst football players, professional ones. Well, back in December last year, the BBC spoke with former England goalkeeper David James about it. But anyway, here's a bit of an explainer about what it all means.
Snus is a tobacco product in a sachet similar to a small tea bag. It's placed under the lip and releases nicotine into the bloodstream. It is illegal to be sold in the United Kingdom, but not against the law to use, while tobacco-free nicotine pouches are legal. Most players use nicotine pouches rather than tobacco-based snus. However, they often refer to nicotine pouches using the term snus. A study into the use of snus in professional football has found it's used by 18% of male players and 22% of female players, with around 40% having used snus at least once in the past. The study by the University of Loughborough and the Professional Footballers Association looked at players in the Premier League, EFL and Women's Super League. The survey found the pouches are also used as an appetite suppressant and that users often started using the product in a bid to fit in with other, often more senior teammates. For male players, 56% gave this as a reason, rising to 73% amongst women.
Well, Dr. Daniel Reid is the lead author of the study and joins us now. I guess, Daniel, first, welcome to the show. I guess lots of people will be thinking, I've never heard of this stuff.
Yeah, no, well, firstly, thanks for having me on. And yeah, there's kind of, I would say they're relatively new products, the idea of, well, not the idea of snus, but the nicotine pouches in particular in the UK aren't kind of widely recognised, although you might have seen them in shops, in tins. But snus has actually been around for a very long time. It's been involved in football for a very long time, the tobacco-based version. But it's these nicotine pouches, which are relatively new, which I think people may be less familiar with.
Why the association with football?
Yeah, it's interesting. I think there's a few reasons, but if you look at the stresses of a professional football career, often, especially at the lower levels where you're not getting huge sums of money, kind of retirement level money in one season, there's the stress of injury, selection, short-term contracts, perhaps the need to go on loan or to move around. So it's a very stressful environment. And then you couple with that the fact that these players wouldn't necessarily drink or smoke in the way that someone in the public might, to kind of relax because of the impacts on performance. So despite the kind of wide range of health impacts of tobacco-based snus and the implications of using nicotine-based pouches, players see it as a kind of a way to relax and perhaps deal with some of the anxiety of their careers.
Okay, so from a research perspective, what are you trying to get to the bottom of? What's the point of the report? What are you trying to help people?
So the original point of the report really was to understand how common this behaviour is. So there's been a lot of discussion in the press and amongst football clubs about how common is this behaviour. So one, establish how many players are using some form of oral kind of nicotine or tobacco product, but then also why are they using it and what are some of the reported negative experiences of using those products.
And just from the negative perspective, because presumably you could argue that there's a bit of a balancing act here. If it enables very highly stressed, highly performing athletes to relax, is there a trade-off there?
It's an interesting one, because actually when you look at the evidence for nicotine, it's very mixed and conflicting when it comes to does it enhance performance, and there's virtually nothing to say that it enhances your performance in football. And what we might actually be seeing is that the kind of relief that players report is actually they're just dealing with the craving. So the stress they might be experiencing as part of the anxiety might be stemming from their dependence on nicotine. So there's almost an argument that we could be looking at more broader solutions to trying to help players relax or manage some of the stress associated with their career.
And that's the intriguing part of this, isn't it? You've started the research in one point, but actually there's an end point there, isn't it, that looks at, okay, if people are needing this to relax, well, there must be other ways to do it. Why are they so stressed in any case?
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's where it becomes really important to have kind of these wider discussions. And I mean, there's things you could look at, for example, about how do we support players who are injured? a very stressful part in any player's career. Could be a potential time point. It was noted by some staff that we spoke to that injury is sometimes a reason why players start using these products. So again, identifying those stresses and maybe trying to put in other things in place that can help with that, I think will go a long way towards addressing kind of the challenges we face.
Daniel, fascinating. Thanks ever so much. Thanks for coming on the show. There you are, Dr. Daniel Reid from Loughborough University joining us this afternoon. It's 8 minutes to 5. Chesney Hawkes, we had him on the show actually a few weeks ago. He's just a really nice guy. That's the one and only. It is 4 minutes to 5. News on the way for you at 5. If you need anything, you can always get in touch with us. You can always call and text and so on. And you can email me too. Thanks for those people emailing in. Showtime shout-outs. Love those. Already passed those on. ben.jackson@bbc.co.uk if you want to get in touch with me. Otherwise, if you've got events going on, then send it to Joe. joe.davis@bbc.co.uk. Yeah, so news on the way for you at 5. This is the Pretenders, though, first.
I found a picture of you. Hijack my world at night to a place in the past.
future
Play BBC Radio Derby.
and on your radio.
The sound of where we live is
BBC Radio Derby.
At 5 with the latest BBC News, I'm Vicky Norton. Junior doctors in England are to stage a 5-day strike just before the general election as part of their long-running dispute with the government over pay. Their 11th walkout since March last year will start on the 27th of June and end on the 2nd of July. Robert Lawrenson from the Doctors' Union, the BMA, accuses the government of ending negotiations.
The government called an election, they threw their hands up and they walked away. The government walked away and collapsed talks. There was nothing more that we could do to be able to have those talks with them because they refused. And so now we're asking, if they're not going to talk to us, to make a public commitment that gives the confidence in our committee that there is a plan for pay restoration so that we can call off these strikes.
But the Health Secretary Victoria Atkins says the union representatives were the ones who walked away from the negotiating table.
I finally entered mediation with them in the last couple of weeks, and they've now walked out of that mediation process knowing full well that in the middle of a general election